Hey guys, welcome to my newest video for today. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a video that I wasn't initially planning on doing, but I've seen a few people like doing this type of series and I thought it actually looked like fun, so I thought I would attempt to do it for October. So if you've guessed by the title, I'm going to be talking about horror movies and what I've actually managed to watch throughout October. So this is the first installment. I've managed to watch 9 movies so far because I'm not attempting to do like 31 days of horror. If I happen to get to 31 horror films, that'll be, great, but it's just I'm watching as many as I can, so I'm not like restricting myself or trying to reach a certain goal. I just want to watch as many horror films as I can throughout the month of October, and I've managed to watch 9 so far. So yeah, and a lot of them, well, actually 8 films are ones that I have seen previously, and I've only managed to get to one first time viewing. But yeah, so I'll just show you, got the stack here. So this is basically everything that I've watched. So I've only been watching out of my collection at this stage. Haven't had a chance to get to like Netflix or things like that, but hopefully as the month goes on, I'll manage to get to a few more like first time viewings and that. So that said, I'm just going to get straight into it, and hopefully this video won't be super long, but it's me and I have a tendency to ramble, so we'll see how it goes. But the first one that I started with was one that I tend to actually, or at least the past couple of years, I've started like my horror watching with, and that is The Nightmare Before Christmas. I absolutely love this movie. I know it's not like your traditional horror film, it's like animated, it's like there's nothing scary about it, but it's just so cute and I love it. I love the songs, I love the characters, I love Jack, and yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. It's one I watch every October and December. So yeah, there'll be a repeat viewing of this. I actually, in December, I actually watched this, or I try to watch it December 24th, because, Nightmare Before Christmas. But yeah, when I kickstart the October horror movie watching, I actually go for Nightmare Before Christmas, which, yeah, and it's only been like in the last few years that I watched this. Like, I never watched this when I was a kid, and I think it was like October 2016 I watched this for the first time, so which is kind of surprising, but considering how much I do actually love it. But yeah, so of course I had to start off with Nightmare Before Christmas. And then another absolute favorite, again, not a traditional scary horror story, and also another musical, and that is Little Shop of Horrors. I always go for the director's cut with this, because I know you've got people who prefer the theatrical, but the director's cut is actually more aligned with what the original like stage musicals like, because it doesn't end happily in the stage show, and yeah, so it's that's sort of why you've got the differences between like the theatrical and the director's cut. I have seen the theatrical, but I prefer to the directors, because I actually love the songs that are in the director's cut, because I know what is it, it's Don't Feed the Plants, which is the finale in the director's cut, and then so I think it's that's on Mean and Green. I don't know the actual name of the song, like right before Seymour gets eaten. I think that one's only in the director's cut of the film. It's been a while since I've seen the theatrical, so it's yeah, I think that one's in this one. I like that song as well. But yeah, this is just I don't know, I've just always liked this one. It's like a really quirky, yeah, I like the songs. I like, I actually like Rick Moranis in this. I think this is one of my favorite performances from him, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, I've always loved this, and it's, yeah, it's, again, a 10 out of 10 for me, and one that I try and watch like every October. So That's Little Shop of Horrors. And then get to one that I actually think's a bit underrated because I don't really hear many people talking about it, and that is Unfriended. Like, for a low budget like horror, which, yeah, because it's basically what it is like there's nothing really major to this film, but I don't know, I think it just works because I like how it takes place all online, and like most of it happens over Skype, which I thought was done quite well, and it gets quite tense, and then like, yeah, as it gets to the ending, like the actual like climax of the film, I thought it's done really well. I think, yeah, like the last maybe 3 minutes or so of the film, I think could be removed, and then you'd have like, I think that ending would have been just a really like terrifying way to end the film, like with the actual reveal. But I like this. I like actually that most of the characters are, well, actually all the characters are really unlikable, but then by the end of the movie it's sort of caring whether they survive or not. So yeah, I think it's quite an interesting movie, and I do have the sequel, I just haven't actually got to it yet. So that's but yeah, I did watch Unfriended. So, and then again, another film that I've only recently seen, and I'm surprised it took me so long to watch it, because this is like everything I love in a movie basically, and that is What We Do in the Shadows, which is of course directed by Taika Waititi, I think that's how you say his name, and who's the other? Jermaine Clement, I think that's who also directs this. This is a Kiwi, like, I guess, horror mockumentary. I think it's probably the best way you can to describe it. This is the movie that the TV show is based on, the What We Do in the Shadows TV show, which I've also seen and I love as well. But yeah, so this one follows a group of vampires in New Zealand, and yeah, it's just very self-aware, very meta, and it's just a really great movie. Oh, I forgot to mention, I gave Unfriended 7 out of 10 for that one. And yeah, so it's basically, yeah, this one's another 10 out of 10. It's, yeah, just a really fun movie to watch. So that's What We Do in the Shadows. And then I rewatched a movie that I haven't seen since I saw it at the cinema last year, and that is The Meg. I think I actually enjoyed this more on a rewatch. I mean, I enjoyed it when I saw it at the cinema, but I didn't like absolutely like love it, but I think, yeah, it was definitely I got more out of it the second time I watched it. I mean, it's just a really fun shark movie. There's not much else that can be said about it, because I mean, you know, it's Jason Statham in a shark movie, and yeah, you basically get that, and it's, yeah, just a lot of fun, and one of the better shark movies in recent years. Like, yeah, it's very hard to find a good shark movie, I find. Like, I'm not asking them more to be Jaws, but, you know, just to actually be decent. So that seems to be a bit hard to ask, but yeah, this one is definitely one of the better ones, and I gave this one 7 out of 10. And then with the sequel coming out very shortly, like next week at the time I'm filming this, I decided to revisit Zombieland, because it's been quite a few years since I last saw this. Like, what was it? I think according to my log where I keep track of the movies that I watch, I last watched this in 2011. So it's been a while, and I'm glad I actually revisited this, because this was so much fun. And yeah, I loved how the actual story is told. It's quite an interesting take on the zombie genre. Like, it's very humorous, very bloody, very yeah, it's so, but it's like not yeah, it's more about the characters. It's like in how they're sort of surviving in this world. And yeah, it's like, I mean, it is humorous, but there's also some very quite sad moments as well, especially like with Woody Harrelson's character, which I well, I hadn't forgotten, but then I was like, oh yeah, I think that's what this like is leading up to with the review, like with what happened to his character. And sort of how that all came about, and yeah, you sort of get like those quiet insights. Like it's quite like it's a short movie, but like at an hour and a half, but you get quite a lot in it, and I think yeah, it's just done really well, and I gave it a 9 out of 10, so I'm actually looking forward to the sequel, which hopefully I can get to next week. But yeah, so I rewatched Zombieland and that one, and then of course I had to go with Ghostbusters. It's been a couple of years since I watched this, since I like to sort of spread them out. Even though I do enjoy obviously watching this movie, it's just a lot of fun. It's got a great cast. I think the cast also make this work. It's like with the deadpan humor and things like that, and yeah, no, obviously with all the like the ghost hunting and sort of thing. The story itself is kind of it's not like, yeah, it's sort of hard to describe it, but yeah, if you actually were to sit through and you like, because it sort of seems like the reveal comes very suddenly, like with what's going on, and then it's like it's over in like I think 10 minutes. It's not so much about the big like finale that happens, but which I always find interesting, because it's like you get sort of the hints at the start, but then it's like at the end of it, it's like the monster, like sort of the main monster, is a like doesn't really play that much of an important role in the movie. So, but you know, it's fun. I gave it an 8 out of 10. So I don't know if I'll get to the sequel and the like the reboot remake, but we'll see. But I definitely wanted to rewatch the first Ghostbusters movie, so, and especially after watching Zombieland with the cameo in it. So yeah, that's Ghostbusters. And then a film that's become a definite holiday favourite, which I watched for the first time earlier this year, Anna and the Apocalypse. It's a Christmas zombie musical. Like, they're all my, like, essentially all my buzzwords when it comes to a movie. And it's cheesy, gory, over the top, everything I love in a horror movie, basically. And of course, you've got musicals, so... of course, this gets a 10 out of 10, and it will be revisited in December. But yeah, I think this one's a bit underrated because I don't really hear many people talking about it. But it's definitely, it's because it's like an English film. It's set in England. Then and then there's a zombie outbreak just before Christmas. But you know, as it happens. But yeah, I love this, and it's, yeah, especially oh, I don't know what the actual character's name is, but the one is the like sort of the main human villain. I love his character. He's like so over the top, and that, and you like can't take him seriously at all. He's like the superintendent, I think, of the school, and that's like I don't think he's he's like going to be in charge of it. I don't think he's actually like at the very top of it, but yeah, I love his character. It's like over the top, like full on. And then there's Sonny Sins with the father of the main girl. I think it's Whose Side Are You On? I think that's the name of it. But yeah, I love it, and yeah, of course had to watch it, and yeah, 10 out of 10, that one. And then we get to the last film that I have to talk about for this first lot of reviews, and also my one and only first time viewing so far this October, and that is Hellfest. I wasn't expecting a lot going in, and you know, it was like, I mean, not the greatest like horror movie I've ever seen, like slasher horror I've seen. It's very, I don't know, it was very atmospheric. It had some pretty decent kills in here, but it's, again, it's another, like one of the shorter films, and you don't really spend a lot of time with any of the main characters to really fully care about what happens to them. And then also the main villain, I thought, was a little weak as well, because we don't really get any character motivation from him. It's just he shows up at these carnivals and then he starts killing people. Which, I mean, yeah, obviously you don't go into these type of films from the plot, but we don't, really get to know, I mean, aside from the very end, we don't really get to know much at all about the main villain. And yeah, I actually thought the ending was done quite well with that reveal. And also I liked that we never actually saw his face. Like the use of masks and yeah, costumes was done quite well in this movie. But yeah, like it wasn't a bad, like overall, like it wasn't bad. Like I gave it a 6 out of 10, and I'd probably rewatch it next year. But yeah, it's not the like if you're expecting like yeah, if you're going not expecting much, it'll be fine. Like it's very much a leave your brain at the door type horror film. But you know, it was decent for what it was, like an hour and a half. You know, gore fest is essentially. But yeah, so I did watch Hellfest. So there we have it. That's the 9 movies that I've watched so far in October. I'll probably try and do these every weekend until the end of October. So see how I go. Like I could come to next week and then I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do these videos anymore. So as I said, videos have been quite slumpy with YouTube, and yeah, trying to find what like type of videos I want to do. So I'm sort of doing a bunch and seeing what sticks. So yeah, we'll see if there's going to be a second part to this. But anyway, so I'm just going to stop it here. So thank you guys for watching, and until my next video, I will see you guys next time. Bye.